Hey guys, and welcome back to another Cultured Boys discussion. I'm Pepe and I'm joined by Nathan, and today we're talking about YouTube. We're talking about our YouTube viewing habits, what videos we watch, what channels we subscribe to, what kind of stuff we get suggested, all that kind of jazz about videos and all that such and such. How you doing, Nate? You good?
I'm doing very well, thank you. I'm quite excited today because I have spent many years replacing TV habits with YouTube. So I, once
Yeah.
again, in a discussion, have a lot to talk about, and I need to sort of curate my mind.
Right, so strap in. We're gonna decide. We've got a lot to talk about here. I feel. Plus, we started on YouTube. Like that's the thing. That's one thing. Like when we set to do this show, we were like, oh, let's create this YouTube channel. And like,
Yeah.
I don't think I ever had any like any inspirations to do this sort of thing. I know like what we wanted to do with this, but like with YouTube and that, it was.
No, it was. I guess the little behind the scenes is like this was, at least for the two of us, kind of hard to come up with what we wanted to do because mainly neither of us watch anything like what we do.
Exactly.
Which is strange.
I mean, it's one of those ones like, oh no, research would probably tell you that you probably should like look into stuff that's similar to what you do. But we just went off the cuff. We wanted to do something that we wanted to do and something that suits us. So it's
like the old movie, what's it? Dances with Wolves? Make it and they will come.
We hope so anyway. Right, but enough about the behind the scenes of what we do. We want to talk about what stuff we watch. So go on, Nathan, I'll let you start off. Go on.
Okay, well, I mean, the easiest thing to mention is I watch a lot of Let's Plays. I always have. Sometimes I use the Let's Plays as ways of learning about games that I've never played or never had an interest in. You know, because sometimes Let's Plays or like YouTube channels will just play something and you'll always end up seeing something interesting. Sometimes I actually get inspired and I'm like, I'm going to go buy that game because I've watched part of a playthrough and gone, I'm not watching anymore because I want to play that. Yeah, it's hard to say just how many I watch.
Yeah.
But mostly my favorites are like the Game Grumps. That's a pretty like classic Let's Play channel by this point. Like not one of the OGs, but like, you know,
people know them. That's the thing. Like I don't necessarily watch the Game Grumps at all. But like just from like speaking to you and just hearing just general internet talk like from other people like on the internet, like they're a pretty big channel, aren't they? Like
they are.
You spout out references from them all the freaking time.
I do, but that's because like I watch them all the time. They just have content all the time, and it helps that when they started, you know, it was two big names in the Let's Play or like gaming anime sort of, you know, like Ego Raptor and JonTron started it, and like those were two fairly big names in the space at the time. Ego Raptor's obviously still doing it. JonTron isn't. Not going to get into that. That's a whole thing. But you know, like it's persisted and it's been around for like I think almost a decade.
Oh, that's sick.
If not a decade, like, and it's still pretty good. It's still entertaining, and they still play, you know, mainstream games and really random like retro games or random like sometimes they'll just go on and buy a random visual novel from the Nintendo eShop, and that in itself can be quite funny because then they voice the characters, they read the poor grammar, and it's just like it's almost like these things are made to be Let's Played because they're so kind of shitty.
Yeah.
But it's like one of those where with the right people, it's so bad it's good.
I get you.
And that's kind of what Game Grumps does for me. It's like makes a lot of the really shitty stuff good to watch.
Okay, fair. Like, okay, so as someone like myself who's never actually watched the Game Grumps at all, is there any videos you'd recommend from them? Like, what do you have a highlight? Like, what's your favorite?
I would love to recommend from early Game Grumps, Sonic 06.
Oh, yeah.
Because that was god-awful. For you specifically...
Yeah, okay.
Sonic Heroes. They've played Sonic Heroes.
Yeah.
Danganronpa is really good.
Oh, yeah.
There's just so many. Like, my favorite ones are either when they're just partway through a series and they've been recording for an entire day. And they always call it out because they're like, oh, this commentary is, like, really weird. you can tell we're recording at 1 to 3 in the morning for some reason. Like,
Yeah.
there's so many series, quote unquote, that they've done that are just really good. I would just recommend the channel in general. Like, just go and start on something that looks familiar to you or might be interesting, and then just go from there. To be honest, that's my recommendation to everyone on like a channel like Game Grumps. They've just got so much content.
That's fair. Like that's the thing. If I'm ever like basically, I find these sort of channels. Like, Game Grumps is kind of like a channel I feel like I should have discovered by now. But like it's one of those ones like these things like filter in to me like randomly. Like a channel that's like, I don't know, like 5 years old or whatever, and suddenly just pop up on my feed, and I'd be like, oh, okay, cool, I'll start watching that. My process of watching a new channel is basically like through the video that I've seen before, I'm like, oh, okay, cool, I'll watch whatever content they have, and then by doing that I'll go onto their channel and look at their most viewed videos.
Oh, okay.
More often than not, those are going to be the ones that like people love the most, and I kind of get into it from that.
That's a smart way to do things. I don't do that. I literally, if I discover a new channel, I literally just sort of watch the newest thing.
Yeah.
And then I'll go back through playlists or whatever and try and find something similar to what I just watched or something that I liked about whatever video.
Yeah.
And then if it sticks, it sticks. Sometimes it doesn't work.
Obviously, there's a whole subject thing as well. Like, obviously, like if you find a certain channel and you feel like, oh look, they're actually talking about something that I like, then you click on that video more, don't you? That's the thing. You get like, okay, cool, this is a topic I know about. Let's hear their perspective on it. Is usually like the thing.
Oh mate, like I've got so many random channels like that as well. Like,
yeah.
I watch ant keeping from the biggest ant keeping channel just because I find it interesting. Don't want to keep ants.
Well, like
Most of the time could give like literally the channel's called Ants Canada, and dude literally just keeps ants as pets.
yeah. Oh wow. Okay.
And he films it with one of those crazy macro lenses, you know, the ones that look like a massive fucking like metal tube
Yeah.
attached to the end of the camera.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's like super up close, and it's just a lot of stuff like that.
Yeah.
He tries to make a whole story out of everything, and sometimes it's a little clickbaity, but like, I don't know, I just find it interesting. Or like, I watch
What's the channel again? Sorry.
Ants Canada.
Ants Canada. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna do a little bit of research myself for that. Just a quick.
It's a pretty big, like, in that space, it's like the biggest channel. I also watch a fish keeper, like aquariums,
Oh wow. Okay.
because it's just interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I tend to watch all sorts of things. Like, I'm not necessarily
Yeah.
just like one type of thing. Like, or I watch this channel called Today I Found Out,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just their whole thing is each day they put up a video and it's about a new thing. You just learn really random facts and stuff.
Okay.
And to me, like in my everyday life, none of that's going to be helpful probably, but it's interesting. Like,
I'm checking out this ant channel now. Like, it looks nuts. This actually looks like quite fun too. I can understand why you watch this.
honestly, it's weirdly interesting. I know for most people, watching like small animal, like bugs and stuff like crawl around, like makes their skin crawl. But like, if you can get past that, sometimes it's just interesting and weirdly relaxing to watch a bunch of ants move around and like
Yeah.
forage and stuff. I don't know why. I just find it interesting. Those two are probably some of the strangest things I watch on YouTube.
That's really cool. I think they're like quite cool though. That's a good thing about YouTube. You can upload a video about anything, any hobby that you have, and there will be someone that will find interest in it.
Yeah, I mean, hell, look at us.
Yeah. Thank you for listening to our ramblings for God knows how long, guys. But yeah, like honestly, like that's like I do generally find that ant channel quite interesting, like because it's something you don't know about either. That's the difference between viewing habits, isn't it? There's some videos you watch that you want to hear someone's perspective on something you know about, or there's something that you have a hobby in, and you view that because you want to hear other people's perspective or something you know. On the other hand, there's something you have absolutely no clue about, and you can still be interested in it, and you're like, oh, okay, this is like mad how like I just want to keep watching this. You know what I mean?
That channel specifically is also like, again, he'll try to make some sort of story. He really tries to engage the audience, but at the same time, it's actually quite educational. Like, he does know like the scientific names for each group of ants and stuff. Like,
Yeah.
he knows how to keep them because he's been doing it so long. Like, he's also been on YouTube for like 10 years or something. So like, he knows how to make videos as well. And like, I think that's why I like these watching videos of some of these like niche hobbies, is because these people like will definitely know exactly what they're talking about. You will learn something if you want to, but at the same time it's just also weirdly relaxing. Like randomly found it. I think I've been watching this channel like Ants Canada for maybe 4 years or so,
Really? Okay.
and it's just I was just randomly scrolling through my feed, and it came up for some reason. I must have been watching something related to ants, or like or something in that. I don't know how the
It's
algorithm works
mad.
anymore.
It's mad how like you can just find that though. Like that's quite cool.
Like I don't remember the origin of a lot of stuff anymore, like the fish keeper or any of the barkeepers that I watch, or the chefs or something. Like
Yeah.
I don't know how any of that comes around anymore. I've been watching them so long that I'm like, it's my everyday life, you know? I watch their videos all the time.
Yeah. Oh, that is. That's nuts. It's well cool though.
But like what about you, man? Like what's something you watch?
Whew, okay, so like I've been watching YouTube stuff for God, it's got I think just over 10 years, I'd say. I like maybe even longer than that, because I remember when YouTube was like proper early days, I didn't subscribe to anyone. I usually used to watch like random videos and like just anything that caught my fancy. At one point, I think it was like I was watching episodes of One Piece. I think I mentioned this before in like 3 separate parts. It's the days where like copyright wasn't as hardcore on YouTube.
The dark days of
Yeah.
YouTube.
I remember like you could watch an episode of One Piece in like 3 separate parts that people have uploaded, and I remember that was like one of my first experiences of YouTube, watching like Monty Python sketches and stuff as well. But like I think the first few channels I've subscribed to on YouTube, like early days Smosh. I absolutely loved Smosh back in the day.
Oh yeah.
Like they like Ian and Anthony used to like put some amazing content together. Like granted these days like they're not as popular because obviously Anthony left, and there's a whole bunch of other dudes. Like Smosh is sort of like a bigger thing now.
It's more of a brand with a rotating cast than it was a passion project like back in the early days.
100%, yeah. Arguably that was like because there was like obviously they had that, there was the company, weren't there, that went under. I can't remember exactly what it is. There was a whole
Defy Media or something.
Yeah, something like that. And like there was a whole bunch of drama that went down. Like Smosh lots of money, but that's a whole other subject. But yeah, like they're like my OG. I think they were like one of the first channels I subscribed to on YouTube. I don't watch them anymore, but like I'm still a fan of like Ian and Anthony's stuff, and like the other guys do good stuff as well. They do like the what was it, the try not to laugh videos and stuff. I can't remember what they're called.
I'm not really into that kind of content.
Yeah, it's like I don't know, it's quite funny. Like, they bring in certain YouTubers as well, like some that I'm a fan of and that. But anyway, other channels that I'm like OG subscribed to, what was it, Jack's Films and PewDiePie. I think I discovered them when I was in uni, and they're like 2 channels I've actually consistently watched since then.
Fair, that makes sense. They're like OGs of YouTube though. Like
they are OGs, yeah. Like Jack's Films started off with like Your Grammar Sucks, and that's what really like propelled him a little bit. And PewDiePie is just PewDiePie. He's changed a lot over the years, PewDiePie, of his content.
Yeah.
Like I there's like a certain point where I dropped off. I didn't watch a lot of his stuff. I think like I started off when he did his Let's Play stuff.
Yeah, that's when I started too. I dropped off, I think, shortly after.
Yeah, because I remember watching him for a couple of years, and then I just stopped because I thought his content was getting quite samey. And then he kind of like changed it a little bit. So he does do Let's Plays still, but he doesn't do half as many as he used to. He kind of just does like sort of more reaction videos, or it's like topical videos, which like it's kind of discussion stuff, and I kind of prefer that a little bit, because I don't know, like if he does a Let's Play now, it's probably something I actually won't be that interested in, honestly. Like it's weird how like people's like content changes like that. But yeah, PewDiePie's a good one. My modern YouTube habits, however, like that's a very different situation right now. God, like so I most recently a couple of channels I subscribed to were the Try Guys. I don't know if you ever watched any of their stuff before.
I think I've seen clips on Facebook.
So I got suggested to these guys through our good friend Wildebeest Plays,
Okay.
because there's an upcoming video that me and him are doing.
Oh yeah. Yep.
I won't say too much more. And it's kind of based off a Try Guys video. I found it through him, and then I didn't immediately jump into this channel. I was like, oh, this is cool concepts of videos and stuff. Like I'll watch some more maybe. And then I think like a few more of their videos got suggested to me through YouTube's algorithm and stuff. It's all food based. Like majority of their content is food based, or like attempting to do something without a recipe or without instructions. And they're genuinely like, they're entertaining guys. Like it's just fun. It's entertaining to watch how like they do stuff, like their processes, how their like mind works and stuff. It's quite funny. Like they're just like four entertaining guys. Like I love their stuff. It's good content.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen it. It's been recommended to me loads of times, and you sort of watch a little bit of it through the like not subscription feed, the recommended feed.
Yeah.
But like I've never personally actually tried to watch one of their videos, but I might, considering two of my close friends are into it. So chances are I'll probably like it, because also thanks to our good friend Wilder way back in the day is why I watch Binging with Babish.
Oh, okay, yeah, the whole food content thing.
Was because I was hanging out with him one day and he just put these videos on and he was like, have you ever seen this?
Yeah.
And that was when he first started, Binging with Babish. So like he was making the rounds online because he was like, oh, this guy's recreating recipes from TV and stuff. And I've just continued watching ever since. And his content's also evolved slightly and gotten more interesting. Like, I think my favorite series from him right now is the Botched with Babish, where he tries to redo a recipe that the internet has overwhelmingly told him, like, you've done that wrong.
Oh, okay.
But it's almost like an unfiltered style. So they just film a bunch of stuff, and it's almost like, the things you would normally cut.
Yeah.
They kind of leave it in. They've like cut loads of other stuff, like the in-betweens, like the move in and the things you don't need to see. But a lot of the like failures and stuff now you will see. And it's just, it's kind of funny.
Yeah. Okay.
At the same time, like I like those.
His content's like I'm not subscribed to him at all, but some of his videos have appeared on my feed. It's the ones I like are the ones where he recreates recipes from TV shows.
See, the interesting thing is that he also like branched out, so it's not just him on his channel anymore. He's got like other chefs and stuff do.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Like he's works with the you've probably seen him on like Facebook and stuff, because I think he was also part of BuzzFeed maybe or something with the Try Guys. Alvin, he has a show on Binging with Babish's channel now, Anime with Alvin, and he basically so far has been recreating stuff from Shokugeki no Soma.
Oh, really? Okay, that sounds quite cool.
Yeah, and that's also quite entertaining, mainly because Alvin is, I don't know if it's on purpose or not, but a little more awkward sometimes.
Yeah.
And it's kind of funny because he's got this really like dry presentation.
Mm-hmm.
And like a really soft voice for the VO, but then he'll say something cringy or really awkward, and you just, even as a viewer, you just sort of sit there with a pan face like, ugh.
Other than maybe like, do you think it is on purpose, that's all cringe, or is it like
I want to say it is for entertainment purposes because it
Yeah.
works so well. I'm like, there's no way you just do that by accident every time.
Yeah.
Like, it just doesn't seem like that works. But yeah, Binging with Babish is also like a channel that's evolved quite a lot in the few years that he's been on YouTube.
That's a thing in general as well. I think like food videos are something that always gets me. I think it's one of the reasons why I like love the Try Guys content so much. But like another food channel that I've got to mention is one that I discovered, I think it was last year I discovered it. I think I might have shared a few videos with you in our like friend WhatsApp group. Have you ever heard of Ordinary Sausage before?
Oh yeah. You definitely shared this. You definitely shared that.
Like this is content I found through you probably heard of him as well, Moist Critical, Charlie.
Yep.
So he did like what was it? He was just doing a reaction video to Ordinary Sausages, like one of his really early videos where he did a whole KFC box in a sausage.
Oh, you shared that video specifically. I've seen part of that before.
Yeah, and it is like the channel's incredible, man. It's like literally this guy just sausages anything, like any meal, like any fast food thing, like he'll just sausage it, and like he'll take like comments from his viewers as well and be like, are they like, oh, make like a salt sausage. He literally just puts like a whole bunch of salt in sausage casing and cooks it. He does a rating it after everyone as well, and usually those those fan comment ones are always 0 out of 5s because it is just, it's a horrendous suggestion. Why would you eat a sausage full of salt? But like, it's the content is just generally like intriguing, like the fact that like how he just grinds it all up or whatever, that how it turns out. Like more often not, it's a disaster, but it's so entertaining at the same time. And the ones that actually taste good, I'm like, I want to try that. I'll try that sausage.
Wow, see, that's interesting because as you were like explaining that channel, I was scrolling through my subscription feed, and on the opposite spectrum of that is I realized another channel I really like that's also cooking related is a channel called Outdoor Chef Life.
Oh yeah.
And it's basically this guy who lives in San Francisco. He was a sushi chef, like a professional sushi chef.
Okay.
And he quit to do YouTube full time, but he likes foraging and stuff.
Oh.
So a lot of his videos are like out fishing or foraging for stuff. And then he'll just turn everything he found into a recipe. He's one of those guys who doesn't have a plan, or like he doesn't really follow a set recipe. You watch him cook and he's literally just like chucking stuff in.
Yeah.
But then it comes out and it looks fucking amazing. And like, thanks to him, not that I've ever tried or practiced, but I could probably fillet a fish like a professional sushi chef.
Oh.
Because I've seen him do it so many times.
Yeah. Well, now that you've said that, Nate, I'm coming around your house and you're going to fillet me like some sushi things. I'm just going to be
the thing
like,
is,
there's fucking bones in this, man. What the fuck? It's all right, Pepper. I saw it on YouTube. I'm professional now.
You don't eat fish anyway. Don't lie to the viewers.
I don't eat fish. Yeah, that's inside. I eat seafood though. That's just a disclaimer. Seafood's good. Fish bad.
I like watching that too because it's like I've been fishing, not a fan of it personally. Like,
oh really?
Yeah, I went when I was a kid, you know, with my dad and stuff. But like, I was never really into it. But like watching him catch different fish, turn them into recipes, like forage for mushrooms and all sorts, like
yeah,
and like it's just really interesting to watch someone turn essentially a bunch of fresh stuff from the forest or whatever into something to eat. And it looks like you would, the way he makes it, like, okay, sometimes the presentation isn't like as like restaurant grade, but he still tries, and you're like, I would pay for that. Like, I'd pay to eat that.
That sounds really cool, you know. Like, I know it's like kind of going like a little bit off topic here, but like it's kind of like that sort of content you'd find on TikTok in a way.
Yeah.
Like it kind of sounds like that's like quite like, I don't know, short content. Oh, I just got into it for that, in the words, foraged all this stuff, cooked it. Like it's sort of content you'd feel like it would be on TikTok. But I do like the idea of like just the general idea of like what you just described. Like it sounds cool.
It's the same reason why do I still subscribe to that channel? I think I unsubscribed recently because he couldn't. Do you remember a few years back it was really big that Australian guy was going in and making like huts and stuff out of mud?
I remember this dude, yeah.
I used to subscribe to that channel, and I think it's the same sort of vibe, you know, where like you're just watching someone make something from nothing, and you're like, this is what civilization used to be like, and probably most people would have had those skills like hundreds of years ago, and now we just all don't know how to do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's that kind of interesting, like going back to nature. Like, could you do it? I feel like I watch that stuff because I'm like, could I do that? No, I'd die.
No, I'd be the same. Yeah. Yeah, 100%. It sounds really interesting, but no, I never subscribed to that dude either.
I did. I watched a lot of his videos, but like obviously once COVID hit and lockdown, like his whole channel sort of went dormant because you can't go outside, so you couldn't make huts and stuff, you know, out of mud.
Yeah, that's unfortunate though.
It was interesting though. I really did like that one.
That's a shame they kind of dropped off a little bit. Like, do you ever watch Hot Ones at all?
I used to watch Hot Ones. That's a really good talk show though. I would recommend that to people. Like, just give that a go. The easiest way to start on Hot Ones is always just watch the ones with your favorite celebs on it.
Easy, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, or someone you know, and then just go from there.
Exactly. That's exactly how I found it as well. I was just like, oh, this person I do is like on Hot Ones. I watch it, and then literally the thing is with Hot Ones as well, you start it. I feel like you just binge the fuck out of it when you see it though.
Oh yeah, you do.
Like you just go from celebrity to celebrity. Like you just keep going, don't you?
Yeah, because it's like you know, some people you'd think would be really good. Like the one I always like recommending is Ramsey, because you think Ramsey would be really good, but his is crazy because he's
Yeah.
brought stuff. He tried to combat the spice
Yeah.
because he knows that at a certain point it's going to be too much for him, right? And he just has like a bag of stuff, and you're like, that's not the Gordon Ramsay, you know?
Yeah,
Like
this is
normally
just like
he's
some
a
guy
hard
putting
ass.
out this. Yeah, he's like still like going like, oh fuck this or whatever. But like,
Yeah, but that's also whilst he's got 2 of those squeezy bottles of like
yeah,
lemon and lime juice, and he's like spraying it on his fucking bit of
Son,
chicken,
yeah,
and he's like eating like fucking pastries and shit because he's like, yeah, you know, like sugar or whatever's supposed to help like
yeah.
dull the pain or something. He's too.
It's quite interesting. It's quite interesting to see how he works around it though. Like, because obviously, like, there's no other I say contestant, no other guest is gonna like do this. Are they? No one's gonna bring out this shit. Only Ramsey would bring out this stuff.
At that time, I never saw anyone do anything near that as a guest, and that's why I like recommending that one because I'm like, that's one of the craziest ones I feel like. Also, that hot sauce, like a lot of them sound pretty good. I actually tried to buy you a bottle for Christmas one year,
Ah,
but it's way more expensive than you would think.
is it because it's from? Is it imported or is it like?
I mean, that was before any import tax.
Oh, geez, so it's gonna be even more expensive.
Basically, a little story time. Our friend group does Secret Santa. I got Pepe one year, and that was the year I was watching Hot Ones. Pepe just started watching, and that was the year they brought out the Caliente or something.
Oh yeah.
Right? And I was like, that sounds nice, right? What a great present for Pepe. Went and looked it up, and like the default normal bottle was like £25 already, and I was like, over budget. Plus, I don't know what P&P is going to be.
Yeah, so it's one of those ones, isn't it? Yeah.
Like, I didn't know what the shipping cost, and I was like, I can't spend that much money, so I never did it.
We do have a £20 but like limit as well. So it's like it's one of those ones like sometimes you'd be like, oh, I can go slightly over, but like a couple quid or whatever. But sometimes when it's like too much, you're like, okay, no. I'll cut it off there.
See, if it was like £25 including shipping, import tax, I would have been like, yeah, I can do that, right?
Yeah,
but it was
yeah,
like
that's it, innit?
£25 before all of that, and I was like, nah, it's probably gonna come out to like probably like 35 quid by the end of it, and I'm like, I just can't do that.
Yeah, it's understandable. I can understand that. That's fine. But yeah, I've always wanted to like sort of take on that Hot Ones challenge. You know, I'd love to do that just to see because I quite like spicy food. I'm like really into spicy food. Granted, I prefer flavor over heat. I like spicy flavor, but like I reckon I could do it.
I mean, I actually had the idea recently. I would love to get our friend group together and do that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm like, I feel like quite a few of us would be okay for quite a while.
Yeah.
Like, I reckon a bunch of us could probably get at least about halfway before any of us suffer.
I know for a fact that some of us would die early, though. Like, some of us would be like one wing and then, like, yep, that's it, KO'd.
Really? I didn't think our friendship group was that bad, but
yeah, there's certain people that like die quite quickly.
I mean, I would probably drop off pretty early on. I'm like okay with spicy stuff, but I'm not the best.
I can see some of us going quite far. I reckon I could complete the whole thing. I'd be dying. Don't get me wrong. I'm not going to say I complete this with ease. I reckon I could do it.
Yeah, I reckon you could do it. You've always been one of the better ones with spice in our group.
Yeah. But I know like I think we're very like the thing is with a friendship group in general, you have like different tastes of everyone. There's some people at the top of the spectrum. Some of them are going to be like, nah, like no spice tolerance whatsoever. I think. So do you think you'd be able to finish it?
I don't. I think I'd get about halfway, and then I'm like, I have to tap out. I can't.
So like, what's your spice tolerance like? Because I know like your reaction to food is like changed a bit over the years. Like, say if you went to Nando's, what would you get? Like,
I would normally get medium, but I'd put extra hot sauce on the side.
Yeah. Wait, extra hot sauce or extra hot sauce? Which one?
Well, like, okay, I like from Nando's the Vusa sauce, so like some of their spicier sauce, and I'll put that on the side.
Oh yeah, the black label one.
Yeah, I think Black Label, but basically, I'll get medium just because I'm like, that's a nice flavor, you know.
Yeah.
But for the extra like spice level, I will put some more sauce on the side, a different sauce that's way hotter that I absolutely cannot handle, but I'll still do it.
See, I'm like the opposite, you know. Like I always get like an extra hot for the coating, and then I get garlic and herb as like a side sauce.
Interesting.
So I do the opposite though. It's interesting that, isn't it? Like,
I mean, like, I can't handle it, but I've been eating the burdak fire noodles, like
oh
just
wow,
the
God.
normal one. I haven't.
Okay,
I
the normal
I
one.
don't eat them often, but like I'm not eating the like 2 times spicy. I'm just eating the regular spice one, and it kicks my ass every time, but I like it.
I remember. I think it was Wilder actually that bought me a cup of the extra spicy ones,
Oh god.
and I ate them. I think I ate them, and it was no problem. But I like literally my nose was running, like I was like sweating. I was like, oh my God, this is like I'm like it tastes good. That's the thing. I think that those noodles kind of taste good. It's not like horrendous spice. There are some spices out there which is like, nah, it's just killer. I think that's what the wing, like some of the hot ones sauces would be like.
Yeah, I think some of those end ones are just like spicy for the sake of spicy. There isn't a flavor. It's just almost like having pure chili oil, like, or sorry, chili extract, not oil.
Yeah, yeah. Because I reckon like by the sounds of it, there are some at the end of the like hot one spectrum which still have flavor with them, but they're just like they'll kick your ass.
I don't know. I reckon I could get most of the way through, maybe like at least halfway, if it ever happened. Like if we ever managed to do it, but it probably would be quite a struggle after that, and then I'd definitely regret my choice.
Yeah. Once we get 1 million subscribers, Nathan, we'll do a hot ones.
Okay, well, as long as you're buying the sauce, I can't afford that shit.
So if we're at 1 million subscribers, I'll fucking buy anything.
Wow, don't throw that out there.
No, not too far. It depends. Within limits. God, yeah, I feel like we talked about food for like quite a bit there, and like food. That's just like I remember like Epic Mealtime. Do you watch them guys like back in the day?
I never really watched them back in the day.
But I used to watch it like again back in the day. Like I dropped off since like quite a few of them left. I think like Harley's still there.
Wow.
Like he's the main face of it though, isn't he? He has to be there, like for sure.
I mean, he doesn't have to though, because like by that logic, you know, like when you were talking about Smosh, like Anthony left and he was one of the main faces, you know, like he was one of the main guys. Like
I get, yeah, that's true. Yeah, I mean Ian's still there though, isn't it? So I don't know how much Ian does content now though. That's the thing.
I don't know, but thinking about it, that's like when I was talking about Game Grumps. You know, fucking 2 guys started it, one of them left within the year.
Yeah, that's true as well. God, yeah.
So like you don't necessarily have to be there, you know, like just because you started it or you're the face of it, like you could leave.
Yeah.
It's just harder for whoever's left to try and pick up the pieces is all.
It is, yeah. It's like you're basically trying to keep that fan base at that point. Like, hey, like I'm still putting out content. It's like it's just that guy's gone, but I'm still here. Like with this other person more often than not. Like
do you like us enough to stick around, please?
It is literally that. Like you'll probably find that most people though will just subscribe to that other person's channel but still stay subscribed to the old channel as well, you know what I mean? So even though the duo would part ways, granted it probably would be harder for the branch off person because obviously they're like starting a new channel and they have to bring all those subscribers from that channel over to this one, and some people might be like but I like them as a duo, I probably won't do that. Whereas at least with the original channel, you still have those old viewers, like that probably won't unsubscribe straight away because...
Well, as long as you can still sort of like put out the content that is similar to what was before, like there'll obviously be growing pains, and like you see that all the time. It is a shame when like somebody joins or takes over. Like it's gonna sound like I'm talking about Game Grumps a lot, but that's because they're the only ones that I know of that actually talked about this kind of stuff like on content regularly. Like Dan Avidan came in and took over for Jontron,
yeah,
and for years he was still getting comments, and I think he still does sometimes. Like, you know, John was better than you.
Oh yeah.
Like, well, get John back. And it's like, it kind of sucks because it's like, yeah, but this new person is bringing in like this whole new thing. It's like an evolution, you know, it's like a new chapter for the content. And then it's just like, people are like, nah, I want what I want. I don't give a shit what you're saying.
Yeah, I mean, it's a similar thing with the Smosh guys, to be fair. Like, I've heard some of the, their experience. They're like, oh, yeah, where's Anthony? Like, bring Anthony back and that. Obviously, it's Anthony's choice to leave. And I'm pretty sure it's the same with John as well. Like, his choice was to leave as well. But, yeah.
They made their choice to leave, to move on and do things they want. Like, for Smosh, like, Anthony's now, like, I heard someone call him the Oprah of YouTube. And he really is.
Oh, like his interview stuff is mad. Like, yeah, he's
Yeah, do you know when you think, yeah, he is. He's the chat show host like for YouTube, and he's good at it.
yeah, no, like the amount of like people he's reached out to and that, like all like the different like I don't want to say like stereotypes and stuff, but like the different walks of life. So many people there, and I've never actually watched his content fully. But like I don't know, like I've seen clips and that. It's good. It's good content.
Yeah, I've seen clips too, and it's like fucking hell, man, he's killing it.
Yeah, no, fair play to him. Branching off of hot ones, actually. Do you ever watch cold ones?
I knew this was coming up as soon as you were like brushing off. I haven't actually watched Cold Ones, but I do know that they're also quite a popular podcast now.
Yeah, like it's a bit different, like compared to most podcasts. Now it's like kind of like a lot of like sort of challengey kind of videos. Not sort of always challenge, but like it's different. Like I don't know. I don't even know how to describe it. It's just comedy channel basically with Max and Chad.
I mean, I guess it's going back to their like roots on YouTube though, isn't it? Like
it is a little bit, yeah. They were saying recently that the only reason why they've stepped away from the podcast platform, not platform, but
probably format is better.
Format. Basically because of COVID actually. They couldn't get as many guests in, and if they did, they'd have to do it over like Skype, and they didn't like the vibe of it as much.
It's funny they say that, and you and me have been doing this for a year almost. Like
man,
always over the internet. We've never recorded once in the same room.
Yeah, I guess that was our original concept, though, weren't it? Right.
Well, yeah, I mean,
I guess with theirs, they had like guests live in, and it was like a bit different.
Even when we had Wilder on, that was still on Discord.
Yeah, that's true. Very true. But yeah, like I think like obviously I don't know, I found these guys through when Filthy Frank was still a thing on the YouTube.
Oh my god.
Like that's how much YouTube is telling you. Like Filthy Frank would not exist on YouTube right now. He would get like deplatformed. That's why he stepped away. But yeah.
Like when we were saying the dark times of YouTube, like back when the copyright stuff. Sorry, I'm wrong. The Filthy Frank era, the Max Mofo, like all that little group, that was the dark times of YouTube. So
I'd say yeah, like from like 2014 to like 17, I'd say
that was a weird time to be on the platform, man.
Very like it's like I think that was really pushing the limits, and that's when the adpocalypse sort of thing came in as well, didn't it?
Yeah,
that's when like there was a whole lot of like that really threw YouTube into a thing.
Yeah, really threw a spanner in the works. Oh yeah, man, it is crazy though, because like I watched Filthy Frank because of you, like a couple of videos here and there, but I never knew Max Mofo. It was only after when like just before the Pokemon card boom and stuff, you were like, oh, have you watched this guy open Pokemon cards?
Yeah,
I watched Max Mofo because of Pokemon cards. Literally, I don't watch because of anything else. And then I remember doing a bit of research, and it's like, oh yeah, you know that gang back in the day, and his name came up, and I was like, really?
Yeah.
I guess I can see it because there is a bit of chaos even in the Pokemon videos, and I say a little bit. There's a lot of chaos.
There's a lot of chaos. The screaming sort of thing is always a thing. The
screaming, the intros,
the deep voice sort of combinations. I still think that Pikachu saucy boys, like there's just that one line has always got me with Max's videos, like Pikachu saucy boy.
He's got loads of those kind of things that are just brilliant.
Yeah, he's good with his content, Max.
He is.
Mad how much it's changed though. Like I know, like it's when you compare it to the content like him, iDubbbz, and Filthy Frank used to put out, it's completely different. Like iDubbbz does like documentary style videos now, which is also quite interesting. Like he used to do content cops where he's calling out people, but I think he's stepped away from that quite a bit.
Well, I guess you have to like try and keep up on it if you want to keep your job, quote unquote, as a YouTuber that makes money from this platform. You have to try and adhere to the rules somewhat, you know.
Yeah, for sure. You can't...
if the stuff you wanted to make from back then isn't good anymore by the YouTube standards, then you just can't do it.
Yeah, you gotta play along to the algorithm these days.
Yeah.
One thing I wanted to ask you about, Nathan, was
yes,
I know you're quite into VTubers.
Yeah, see, I was avoiding talking about this for the longest because I've mentioned it so many times, but go ahead.
Is YouTube like a good platform for them to stream on? Because obviously it's very much streaming content, right? Is it streaming or is it like original video concept?
It's all streaming, and it's basic all streaming, and they will make supplementary like video content, but a lot of the times the videos are like, right now at least the VTubers I watch are mostly like shorts and things.
Mm-hmm.
It's not really like specifically a video because most of the time, the people are subscribed for the personality.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And YouTube, right now, I'm still trying to figure out the difference. Like, because there's actually quite a lot of the community on Twitch as well. There are lots of VTubers on Twitch, but there are also lots on YouTube. I think it comes down to personal preference.
Yes, yeah.
But yeah, it's not as booming as it was last year, but it is still sort of like quite up there. I think it's just calming down and becoming the norm rather than like booming because it's like the newest fad.
Yeah, yeah. I can imagine. Like, how did you like find this content? Curious, like.
So it was basically because I was on my Twitter feed and then they were doing an article about Kizuna Ai.
Yeah.
And I just got interested because they were like, oh, yeah, it's like a person, clearly like some sort of voice actor or actor behind this character, but like it's the character that's important.
Yeah.
And I just sort of continued dropping in and out of her channel.
Mm-hmm.
And then because I was watching so much of that, apparently according to YouTube, all these other VTubers started coming up. And then I fell down the rabbit hole that is Hololive, which is the biggest VTuber company right now.
Yeah.
And it's been history ever since, really. I've been watching them for a solid almost 2 years now, and there's content every day. And for someone like me who watches a lot of YouTube, that's perfect.
Is it like, I'm curious, like, is there... I know like a lot of YouTube channels get some creators get burnout from doing content daily. Is that a thing in the...
They get that, but what happens is they just take a break. They'll at least I need to clarify. I don't really watch any of the Japanese Hololive talent. I really only watch Hololive EN or English.
Okay, yeah.
I don't watch Hololive Indonesia either, but that's because EN in itself is 2 generations, so like 2 groups in there, plus a V singer. So that was the original 5 plus the V singer, which is 6, then another 5. That's 11 content creators that stream almost every day.
Yeah.
Several hours a day.
Jesus.
Like I physically cannot keep up with more than that.
Yeah.
Like I can't even keep up with that, to be fair. But it's yeah, when they get burnout, they just take a break. The EN girls have been pretty good about it. They take a couple of days out of the week, so they don't stream every day. And if they're sick or something, they prioritize their health over anything else.
Yeah, as it should be. Yeah.
And the community is quite good about like, yes, please take care of yourself. We'd rather you stay around. I think it's mainly because, at least in the VTuber community, last year Kiryu Coco, one of the biggest names in VTubing, graduated, which is what they say when a character is retired and the person gives up being that character.
Oh, okay.
And she was like usually the number 1 most super chatted VTuber on the platform. She was the one who like was the most well-known. Most people who say, oh yeah, I know Hololive or got into Hololive, it's because they've seen Kiryu Coco, because she spoke Japanese and English.
Mm-hmm.
So like she brought in a lot of the fandom, and but she left last year, and that was like a big thing. Sent shockwaves across the entire community. It wasn't just Hololive, like it was like the whole VTubing community.
Ah.
And then so now people are more like, if you got burnout, if you feel like you need to stop, please just stop, because we don't want you to leave.
I think it's good to have a community that, like has your back like that, because I feel like there's certain communities out there which can be absolutely toxic and be like, oh, why don't you do this or whatever. Granted, I'm sure there are probably 1 or 2 like fans out there that are like that, but
it's funny you mention that, because Kiryu Coco was also the target of antis.
Antis as in...
So basically people who just were against VTubers or against her, like...
Yeah.
And
okay.
I'm not going to call out specific nations or whatever, but you know what I'm talking about if you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And like, so she had to deal with a lot of that too. But again, this is just Hololive as well. Like there's big companies as well that aren't Hololive also in VTubing. Like Niji Sanji is another huge one, and they've got like 4 times as much talent, where Hololive has, including Hollow Stars, which is their male branch, maybe they've got a total of like 50 talents.
Jesus. Okay.
Niji Sanji has somewhere around 200 talent.
Okay.
Like they've got more branches than what Hololive has. Like they've got Korean branch, they've got a Chinese branch. Like I think the Chinese branch is under a different name though. Obviously Japanese, English. Like it's huge. Like Niji Sanji technically as a company is way more huge. It's just not as popular, but it's like the second most well-known company. And then there's like other ones like VOMS, which is like very small in terms of talent. I think they've only got like 5 or 6, but they're also quite big.
Interesting. I'm curious at like the whole how it's ran sort of thing, like the business and that. Like I'm curious, like at the top of this company, is it someone that like is genuinely like passionate about VTubers, or is it like a sort of like because this is always the thing about like these sort of when it's a big business thing. Because obviously, like it's different. I don't want to like put like people into a box and say, "Hey, this is like how you run a company or whatever."
Yeah, I can't speak for other companies, but I do actually know about HoloLive.
Okay, yeah.
I've been in the rabbit hole for like almost 2 years. I watch a lot of clips and stuff. Like so, for HoloLive, the start was all based off of one person, their first ever talent. Toki no Sora wanted to become an idol, a virtual idol.
Yeah.
And then she told someone, her friend, who also has a VTuber model, not specific, no one really knows what her role in the company is. That character is called A-chan. The two of them wanted to start this thing, but they didn't know how. So they went and found a company that would like rent them out a space and like equipment. Then they found the CEO of what is now HoloLive, Tanigo-san, and he was originally trying to start a VR company.
Okay.
They were like a tech company that was trying to do VR stuff, and it just sort of fell in place, really. You know, you could never say, oh yeah, this is exactly what I wanted to do, but like it sort of aligned really well, and then they joined forces and it became Cover Corporation, and HoloLive is under that brand.
Okay, yeah.
And it exploded from there, like pretty much.
That's okay. It's good that like a sort of like it's not like a faceless entity, in which case, because
oh no, in fact, in the HoloLive fandom, the CEO is often referred to as Best Girl.
Okay.
And there's memes of him all the time. The
Okay,
talent call him
yeah.
Yago-san, and Yago is probably more popular than a lot of the girls at times. Like, just he's a lot more popular than a lot of the talent at times if you look at memes and stuff. So
It's like sort of like, you know, in a community you latches on to someone that you like, you know, like for example like Sakurai and Smash Bros.
yeah, that's him.
It's sort of like, yeah, it's like the equivalent, like because he's the face and you know that he's making stuff happen. So it's like sort of like, and you trust, it's a trusted figure.
I would say he's basically Reggie from Nintendo
Okay,
back
yeah,
in the day, like,
yeah.
because Yago like is the CEO of Cover Corp, but like so he's like the most important person technically on the chain, and yet he's in all the memes and everyone's like Yago best girl, Yago is best girl.
That's cute. I like that. I like a wholesome community. Wholesome communities are good.
Oh, it is super wholesome. Also, you know, and like any community, it does get a bit weird, but like just don't look for that.
Yeah, I mean, there's gonna be weird people in every community. Let's face it. There's different. Like you can't. I think it's hard to judge a community solely on like the toxic people of it and stuff like that, or like it. Yeah.
I wouldn't even say toxic. It's just because, you know, like it's just the nature of VTubers as well. It's like most of them are waifus, so you're gonna see some stuff.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm like, but yeah. I get it. I can only imagine the stuff that you're talking about.
Yeah, I won't elaborate, but you know, people know.
Yeah, it's probably best not.
It's waifu culture.
Waifu culture. That's a thing. Yeah, God.
I don't know. That was my 10-minute talk on the thing I watch the most on YouTube.
Welcome to Nathan's TED Talk about VTubers.
I mean, it is. I can't hide that.
Okay, I'm quite curious. Like, is there any content on YouTube that you specifically stay away from?
Specifically, stay away from.
Like, sort of like there's some content out there which I just do not get whatsoever. I know some people are really into it, like sort of ASMR, for example.
Okay, that specifically I stay away from, and also React videos. I don't like React videos.
In terms of like, okay, so is it just like a whole React sort of like because I know there's a difference between certain React channels.
No, it's the whole genre. I just don't. I get it's kind of weird because I used to watch like reviews, and kind of a review is a more structured reaction.
Yeah.
But I just don't understand why I would want to watch somebody react to something when I could just watch it. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I don't care in a way what average person thinks because I'm average person. I will just watch and come up with my own opinion. I don't see why I need to watch somebody else laugh at this video or cringe or whatever when I could just watch the video.
Yeah, I get you. So like sort of like you don't really care for like sort of like that commentary on top of it at all. Like if they go and branch into something else.
No, I just don't enjoy any of it.
Okay. So like in terms of like sort of Twitch has that like just chilling sort of thing, and that would be like them sort of taking video suggestions from like fans and stuff.
I wouldn't watch that.
You wouldn't watch that. Okay, fair.
I don't watch a lot of Twitch either, but like
Interesting, yeah.
even if I did, I wouldn't be watching that. I could tell you that for sure.
Okay, that's fair. I'd say I watch React videos. I think in terms like I'd probably watch them just to hear that person's opinion on it because it's more the personality I watch it for. Obviously, there's some React channels which like just have dog shite personalities and which you just like watch the video, laugh along, and add no commentary on top of it. Those are sort of React videos I'm like, nah, I can't deal with. But like, I don't know, I think there's some React channels which I'm a bit like, okay, cool, I can get on board with them because I like to hear that person's opinion or
fair enough.
Like just I don't know, yeah. I think that's my opinion on it. There's like we're not gonna have the same content like preferences all the time, are we? That's the thing of it.
I mean, again, like the closest I'll get to like a React video is like a review or like when Japanese YouTubers were reacting to an Abroad in Japan video from a while back, like 12 things not to do in Japan, and then he made a react video on that.
I get okay.
But that was because like I was there for his personality rather than
it is that, yeah,
or his opinion on this whole like Japanese YouTubers reacting to his video kind of thing. Like I wasn't there for the reaction itself. I was more there to see what's going on.
I get you, yeah. It's like I used to watch like obviously it doesn't happen anymore. But like people reacting to Smash Bros trailers.
Oh, okay.
This is the thing I used to watch. I remember was one of my favorites was Etika.
Oh.
Like he was like honestly he was like brilliant. It's a shame about what happened. But again, like one of my favorite personalities, like he like did a lot of stuff. I think like through Etika as well, I found a lot of different YouTubers. So it's quite it's one of those ones like reaction is I don't know, few and far between on what you can do with it.
Yeah, true.
But yeah, there's all different types, yeah.
So going off of the first thing you said though, I take it. I don't know actually. I guess I shouldn't say this, but I shouldn't assume. But are you into ASMR? Because like I know it's normally like a thing that's like you're one side, you're one or the other. Like you hate it or you love it.
I don't get anything from it.
I don't get anything from it either.
I don't get anything from it. I think I know people that do get stuff from it and they find it very satisfying. And I'm like, it's something I just don't get. And I know some people that do absolutely love it. I know some people that absolutely hate it. But I think there's certain branches of it which I will be like, I will specifically stay away from it. ASMR in general is something I stay away from, but mukbangs as well is something that I do not comprehend.
I don't quite get that anymore. I did used to watch a channel and that basically was all it was. But I think at least the channel I watched, they didn't have a lot of mouth sounds, which put me off.
That's one thing that's like, oh, like I don't like. There's some I don't mind people reviewing food or just eating food. I think that's fine. But when it's like, hey, here's all this food laid out in front of me, then you just go watch me eat it. Or I like sort of like a review of the food. If it's like a limited edition item, I wouldn't be like, okay, cool, let's see that.
That makes sense.
And like, but I don't know. There's some content out there which I'm like, I don't get it personally. If you like it, that's fine. As I said, we're always like, yep, yeah, it's your opinion. Like that be it. We're always accepting at most of the time on the Cultured Boys channel.
Yeah, surprisingly.
I think that's the thing. That's the difference between people's tastes as well. I can't shoot down people's tastes. That's what they like. I ain't gonna tell people what to like or whatever. It's just everyone has their. This is what the whole video has been about, Nathan. It's what everyone likes, because YouTube is such a vast amount of content going on there.
Oh yeah. And we're just a drop in the ocean. We're just adding to the God knows how many videos come out a day or whatever, you know, like a minute or whatever the fuck.
Because it could be like someone like literally down the street from me that is like so into YouTube as well, and our taste could be completely different. There's a chance that they watch YouTube all the time and they've never heard of the people that I've been talking about, and it could be vice versa.
Oh, I mean, I feel like some of the things I watch sometimes is definitely like nobody's heard of it.
Yeah.
And I just watch some really random like niche things, but hey,
that's what it's about. That's what you want to encourage though. Like you want to encourage the niche stuff. You want to, like all sorts of content.
Yeah, exactly.
Is there anything else you want to say, Nathan? Is there any other last minute YouTube topics, channels?
I just want to recommend one channel.
Okay, yeah.
It's called Cultured Boys. Don't forget to like, favorite, subscribe, hit that bell button so you get notified when our next videos come out, and check us out on podcast platforms.
You did the entire thing in that voice as well. Yeah, we get roll with that. I genuinely thought you guys suggest
one take fam.
Yeah, I genuinely thought you was gonna suggest another channel anyway. Like I thought you was gonna. I feel guilty that we didn't shout out like one of we did a whole lot of food stuff and we didn't shout out one of our like BFFs. We got to shout out Wilder Beast, like was it Wilder Beast Eats? I don't know what is it. Was it the Wilder Side?
The Wilder Side. This is why we didn't shout him out. It's because you don't even remember, bro.
I remember the Wilder Beast plays. He has the Wilder Side. The Wilder Side. There you go. Check him out as well because he's a good friend of ours.
Links will be in the description.
We like food content. He likes food content. It's all sorts of that sort of thing. But check him out. Check our videos out, all of our stuff. Let us know what you want to see next, that jazz, and we'll see you later. Bye.
Bye.